How you doing, YouTube family? This is Kofi Baraka, and right now you're in tune to Kofi Baraka's World. Thank you for showing up. Alright, so we're on episode 17, and the title of episode 17 is Chosen Ones Say Hell No to Porno. So, of course, we're going to do a quick prayer. So I need you to close your eyes and open up your ears. God, thank you for this time. Thank you for the Spirit. Thank you for this keeping our soul and our spirit intact. Thank you for just having everything come together naturally and organically. Thank you for all the gifts you have bestowed upon us, and thank you for instilling us with morals, with principles, and of course, being God body. We love you with all our hearts and might. Thank you for everything you have given us, God. Amen Ra, Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe. All right. So, like I said before, we're talking about pornography today, pornos, especially during this spiritual warfare. We got to make sure we actually take that out of our lifestyles. It's actually, to a certain degree, bringing more harm than good. So first thing we're going to do is give you the definition of pornography. So it's anything that has the portrayal of sexual subject matter for the exclusive purpose of sexual arousal. So you have a lot of components in terms of what is considered pornography. You know, I thought it was just video and maybe streaming, but it's a lot of components. I would say the one common thing within all the components is filth. But you have magazines or periodicals. So perfect example, Playboy, Playgirl, media. So something like Pornhub or YouPorn, video games, animation. I didn't even know they had animation. I knew, but I didn't know in terms of doing the research. Also, you got writing, film, and of course video. In terms of old school, in terms of people having videotapes and stuff like that. So like the 80s and 90s. Sex shows and striptease are not included. It hits a different part or a different sector of the brain. Of course, we're going to give a little etymology in terms of what does pornography, like where did it derive from in terms of the actual meaning. So they said the Greeks, so if they say Greeks, it basically means it comes from us. The word was actually called porneia, and porneia is when you put together prostitution and illustration to one, so it has two meanings for the etymology definition. And then of course we're going to talk about a little bit of the history of pornography. So I would say you had depictions of sexual nature existed since prehistoric time. I mean, they actually had it on rock art. When you think about the Kemet time, you had rudimentary sketches of heterosexual intercourse on the pottery as well as the hieroglyphics. So that's pretty cool. And then if you go a little bit more in the future, you got Thomas Edison. And a lot of people don't know about this. Thomas Edison was actually like the king of muck of his time during the 19th century. Now everyone knows that Thomas Edison, they said that he was the inventor of 1,000 inventions, whatever. But everyone also knows that he was the thief of 1,000 inventions, ergo i.e. Henry Louis Lattimore. So I might do an episode on him too one day. So this is the bad side of pornography. So they don't teach you this in school either, nor are you going to read about this in a book, maybe on an online article. But these are a couple of things. Number one is issues with violence. So in terms of the person who's watching might want to assault the opposite sex, male and female. Also, it hurts society. People naturally become antisocial to a certain degree. It damages the brain. 1 minute of porn will damage close to 200, 300 brain cells. So I can't imagine if you're watching a whole film or you're sitting in one place for long periods of time. It also destroys relationships. People maybe want to cheat or have, be very anxious. The excitement of watching porn and that dopamine in your brain, it can kind of trigger the opposite effect when you're in reality and you can't get it as excited because you're not seeing 4 women at a time. They're not on a do ranch and, wearing chaps with no pants and stuff like that. So it's like the more porn you watch, the more it can destroy your relationship. Terry Crews, I think he went through something similar. So did Kirk Franklin. Also, it can make you an introvert to a certain degree. In addition, it releases all your vital nutrients when you actually have an orgasm. It shortens your testosterone. It can give you ED, hurt sexual growth and interest in reality. That's like the 5th point. Also, it breeds laziness, stagnant minds, and also a demonic spirit. Furthermore, it's a waste of time and effort. 2 minutes can turn into 2 hours. 2 minutes can turn into 2 days. It depends on what you're watching. So my solution would be, in terms of not watching porno or pornography, is to stop watching it simply. To do that, you gotta take your time, no rush, literally, and also you gotta erase the sites off your phone, erase your cookies. You should also not visit the site at all because it might trigger something in you. No exceptions. Another thing is you should pray to God to help you or at least meet you halfway. Replace it with an activity, something that's self-building as well as self-driven. Like I do yoga, I do research, something that you can kind of count on. And every day is something new, is different in terms of the experience. Also, you can practice no fap. So, except if you have a mate, but, just no fap, unless you have to do the GTD. You got the draws like Tommy. Rest in power, brother. Tommy Ford. All right, so let me see. All right, doing pretty good. All right, so with pornography, especially during this time, the spiritual warfare is one of the last things you need. Like I always said, I said in the last episode, that's why it's free, because the cost is your soul. And you need your soul, you need your spirit. Like during this time, you should really be focusing on God, making sure God is first, because God always comes first. And you just don't need it. I mean, we don't really need it right now in terms of the sojourn that we're going on within this spiritual mission. And I know it's hard, to stop because I relapsed a couple of times in my lifetime. This is something like I kind of started at 13, 14, and I'm in my 30s. So you talking about some people don't even live that long in terms of 20 years, let alone having a bad habit for 20 odd years. And like I said before, I did some research in terms of you shouldn't do it anyway because of the spirituality effect, but also it causes a lot of early ED, erectile dysfunction. Kids 15, 24 should not be going through erectile dysfunction or ED, but they're going through it not because of drugs or alcohol or even their living circumstances or society. It's basically off the root of pornography and releasing all their energy, releasing all the sperm, all the semen, and not having enough, encompassed within them or embodied within them. And we need this, like for men, I can't speak for women, but for men or males, we need our sperm. That's like a driving force, like, in terms of your testosterone level, in terms of your eye to eye contact with other people. You know, a lot of people that masturbate, they usually keep their head down, or they don't have good eye to eye contact. Also too, it can affect your hair, it can affect your skin. It could definitely affect your immune system or lympho system, because you're constantly releasing energy. Like, imagine if you had a full tank of gas in your car, or if you had an EV, electric vehicle, and you filled it up 16, 17 bars, whatever, and every 7 o'clock in the morning you would drive a certain amount and come back and only have 4 bars in your EV, or maybe have maybe 2 lines away from E in terms of your gas driven car, it's not going to perform the same. It's going to have a lot of hesitation. It's going to be somewhat apprehensive. It's the same with your human body. So overall, like, we can't, especially in the black community right now, I don't know about in the future, but if you're stopping right now, you might as well stop. But for right now, we should not have pornography in our life, point blank. So no Capri Styles. I'm older. No Pinky. None of those. Alright, so now we're in the end of episode 17. And of course, you can like my videos, subscribe to the videos, also download and share the videos. I always want to say peace and knowledge. Love you very much. And of course, oh, I forgot. Let me do one of my Kofi predictions. Oh yeah. So let me see. All right, cool. I predict in the future, people are not going to play with like instruments. They're not going to play like a trombone, saxophone, piano, guitar, stuff like that. The instruments are going to be either in phones or devices like phones, and you're going to be playing it, and it's going to sound just the same as the instrument you're playing or the instrumentation, but the only differentiation is going to be, it's not going to be that standard or that bookmark instrument. It's going to be the device making the noise and stuff like that, making the music. So, and it's going to be pretty cool too. But I see that coming in the future, the next 10 years, maybe 5 years if we're lucky. So we shall see. But of course, like I always say, we are number one. Our God is number one. And the journey's not done. I want y'all to have a great Sunday, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said before, I love you. Peace.